Good morning. My name's Tim Stewart. I graduated from Sutherland in 1973. I had the good fortune to know Daryl Broberg as coach. You only get one coach in your life. You get a lot of coaches, and a lot of amazing men and women who take part in shaping your life, but only one of them gets the title of coach. No name, no Mr., no Mrs., just coach. And for me, that was Daryl Broberg. I remember watching him coach my brother as a youngster, being almost afraid of him, intimidated by him. He was such a strong personality. I didn't realize until later how smart he was, what a great coach he was. My freshman year at the SPVA conference track meet, he threw me in the 80. Not sure I wanted to be a half-miler. My brother was a half-miler. But Coach saw something I didn't. I medaled in that race and earned my letter, my S, as a freshman. He was a half-miler, so he knew half-milers. I wasn't sure what I was, and he knew that too. When it came to people in my life who guided and directed me, Daryl Broberg was right there at the beginning. Just recently, I had the opportunity to be the keynote speaker in Dallas, Texas, in the offices of Mr. Zig Ziglar. Zig was an amazing man, and to have the opportunity to stand in his conference room and speak to his people was incredible. But the story I told came around Coach Broberg. You see, I told him that I was standing there that day because Martin Roeder intercepted a football in 1972 in Arnold, Nebraska. And I knew that because on that night when he intercepted that football, I was his defensive end. And as I turned to throw a block for him, someone who was blocking me on the side went straight through my knee. And they said I probably wouldn't play football again. I did play football before the season was over, but not at the level I was, and my chances of playing in college were all but gone. In December of that year, December 9th actually, Todd Chesmore had asked me for a ride down to the Army recruiter's office, and I said I'd gladly oblige. And I took Todd down, and he was over signing his paperwork, and I was sitting over in the corner reading this pamphlet. And this pamphlet said Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center was the orthopedic center of the United States Army. And I thought, if I can get stationed there, I can get my knee fixed. I can go ahead and play football. I'll be 3 years older, I'll be stronger. Football, football, football. Coach Broberg had drilled that into me. And so I shouted across the room, I said, "Hey sir, can you put me here?" And he said, "Son, you sign this contract, I'll put you anywhere." I signed that contract. I passed their physical. I became a military policeman. I got stationed at Fitzsimmons Army Medical Center. On my first day on duty at Fitzsimmons, I went up to that 5th floor to check out that orthopedic clinic. And as those elevator doors opened up, there, sitting in the reception window, was this cute little angel. And I thought, if I get to know her, I'm going to figure out who's going to fix my knee, and I go ahead and play football. I just leveled up. I brought a cheerleader into the mix. I got to know her. I got to know all the surgeons. They never touched my knee, and I've been married to her for 37 years now. So when I look at my life and I track it back to that moment in Arnold, Nebraska, that started the events in motion that shaped the rest of my life. We got married, we moved back to Illinois, and it wasn't long after I moved here I had the opportunity to start coaching myself. And I remembered certain things about Coach Broberg. The way he thought things through, the way he knew his personnel and knew who would be best where. The way he'd get up in your face when you needed it, and the way he'd pat you on the back when you needed that too. And that started my coaching career. 22 years old, I found myself coaching little girls softball. There weren't too many opportunities to get up in their faces, but there were plenty of opportunities to get to know your people and show young people how to succeed. And I did that for the next 28 years. Until I was about 50 years old. I went on to become a varsity soccer coach at our local high school. As I had track coach at a junior high. I coached all the private leagues. I started a private league basketball program. And every time I put a whistle around my neck, every time I put a ball cap on, I thought of Coach Broberg. I remember those two-a-days where we'd have to get up early in the morning. We were farmers, we were up early anyway, but we'd have to get up earlier to do our chores so we could get into football practice. And I remembered how hard he pushed us. And about 15, 18 years ago, I was back home visiting, and I was up early in the morning. Went out for a walk, and I found myself outside Coach Broberg's door at about 6:15 in the morning. I thought, you know something? I think I'm going to wake this bugger up and thank him for all those two-a-days. And so I went up and knocked on his door, and Carol shouted out the window, "Who is it?" I says, "Tim Stewart, Carol." And she goes, "What the hell are you doing here this time of day?" And I said, "Well, I'm just getting even with Coach for all those two-a-days." She goes, "Come on in, have a cup of coffee." That started a little tradition. Every time I was back in Nebraska after that, about 6 in the morning, I'd go knock on Coach Broberg's door. And after that, it could be 5 years since I was back, and I'd knock on the door at 6 a.m. and I'd just hear Carol shout out the window, "I'll be right there, Tim." Didn't matter. They were just really such important people in our lives. I tried to talk to Coach right around Christmas time every year. It did my heart good to talk to him. When he had his heart attack, I remember calling him up at the hospital and saying, "I ain't ready for you to go yet. We'd just lost Dad not too long before that, and I wasn't ready for two major players in my life to be gone." He one spring, I think it was our senior year, we were starting track, and he was starting us out with our distance workouts. And our distance workout was a Snake Road run, which if you started at the school and you ran out the county road out by the dump and down by Kennedy's and all the way around and back to the school, it was about 6 miles. And he had us running that twice, holding a 6-minute per mile pace was the ideal pace he wanted us to run. And there's a bunch of us, we were together, and we ran down the north road there, and we got to the garbage dump road, and we went to head north. And a little irrigation ditch ran right through there, and it was spring, there's no water in it yet, and we thought, hey, let's take a shortcut here. So we jumped down in that ditch, and we walked, and we joked, and we kidded, and we got our timing just about right. So when we came around, it would look like we had been running about 6-minute miles. And so we get back on the road, and we come running by, and Coach is there with his stopwatch and a big smile on his face. And we got to the corner, we jumped back in that ditch, and we walked it over, and we did it again. We pulled one over on Coach. 2 days later, we had that route again, and we did the same thing again. And he was just so impressed. This time we came in under 6 minutes a mile. He says, "Guys, you guys are in really good shape early in the season. I'm really, really impressed." "Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach." We got in our cars and went home. 2-3 days later, when the distance workout came back up on the schedule, So we got ready to run, and doggone it if Coach Broberg didn't show up on a bicycle. And he said, "You know something, I'm so excited by you guys." He says, "I'm going to go with you." I think he saw those footprints in the sand, but he never told us. He just got on his bike and he pushed our young butts right into another state championship. He was an amazing, amazing man. He was coach. He's going to be missed. He was sorely loved. I mean, there were times when he was coaching, there were people who maybe didn't see eye to eye with him and some of the choices he made and the decisions he made, but anytime you're in a leadership role, those things happen. In the end, he taught us how to be champions. He taught us how to face challenges in life and overcome them. And every time I run into something, I think about Coach. I wish I would have weighed what I weigh now when I played high school football for him. We would have been some serious football players, or at least some serious beef. But this year, I've had to plan for a while to get myself back in shape and to get rid of some of this excess weight and just start taking care of myself. And I'm going to dedicate this year to Coach Broberg. I'm going to ask him out with me every time I go for a run or a bike ride, a long walk. And I'm going to bring his memory right along with me, because it's that memory that's going to make me be successful one more time. God bless you, Coach. Thank you for everything you did, not just for me, but for every athlete who ever came through your programs. You were an amazing man. You're my friend. You're my coach. God bless. May you rest in peace.